Hello, everybody. Mike from Southern California again. It's Friday, April the 10th, 2020, and you're on the mic. So, what I'm going to talk about today is the Fantasy Soft situation that came out this past week. Okay, so just a quick recap. Fantasy Soft Entertainment, of course, is an animation company that's trying to put together, an alternative to like Funimation, some of the other like dub companies out there. Most notably with a show called Prince Adventures. They were billing it as being done, and that Vic, along with a few other voice actors, including Wendy Powell, were already cast to be a part of this production. Well, it came to light this past week that that was not the case. Vic addressed this on his Unlocked segment this past Tuesday, in which he basically flatly said that he was not a part of it right now. He wished them the best, but apparently what we were led to believe and what actually was are two different things. What we were led to believe that it was basically done and ready to go, and it was about to premiere. But as Vic pointed out, that was not the case. They hadn't even done anything for it. The only contact that Vic apparently had was that they asked him to come in and do some sampling for them years ago. He's been trying, the I guess president of the company had been trying to get this thing going. He has, for whatever reason, not been able to actually do so. Um, Now, from what we understand, there is some, there possibly is, Vic did mention also on his live stream that he had asked them not to use him for promotional purposes until the product was actually done. Vic had made it perfectly clear that he did not want his name to be used to get money from other people if the project was not done. If that, um, he has no ill will towards them as much. There's no ill will, or there's no, he wants, he wished them the best and stuff, but he did not, I don't think he or anybody else appreciated some of what Fantasy Soft has been doing here. It is kind of shady business practices, especially in light of what's been going on the past year, to use a scandal like this to further, make money off of people, especially when you don't even have a product done, which is what they led a lot of people to believe, is that they actually had the product done. And of course, there's also been a lot of talk about how the individual in question, how the owner of Fantasy Shop, kind of more or less doubled down on what he was saying. Instead of acknowledging, hey, yeah, maybe there was a breakdown in communication, maybe we thought we had something, but we didn't. But you know, and Vic had been hearing it too. Apparently, people have been asking him, "Oh, we hear you're in this, we hear you're in that," but apparently he wasn't. Now I know another pretty well known, well, at least in some of the Funimation circles, a lot of people know of Wendy Powell, who was the English voice of Envy and in Full Metal Alchemist, as well as Mokoro and Yu Yu Hakusho. She was also slated to be part of this show, but we haven't heard anything from her confirming or denying this. You know, some people speculate that none of the voice actors who have been promoted as being part of the show are actually a part of it. Um, so that's more or less a summation of what's going on. Um, this is kind of my take on it. Is now, especially considering that this company is trying to promote itself as a Christian company. You know, it's it's very disappointing because I also, would retweet stuff and support them in a way. I even had them listed on my links section here. But it's very disappointing to find out that, whether intentional or not, they may have been kind of misleading people. You know, now whether or not that was intentional, I don't know. I have no reason to say one or the other. Some people have been critical of them because they again doubled down on it. They, instead of acknowledging their mistake and trying to learn from it, they've kind of just trying to just go on as if it didn't happen. But everybody knows now, which in a way kind of makes Fantasy Soft almost as bad as, some of the people on Kick Vic, Um, yeah, I know that might sound like some harsh criticism, but, um, using a controversial issue like what's been going on with Vic to basically further your own goal is wrong. Now I know there are people who kick Vic out there who've accused a lot of people I stand with Vic of doing that, which I don't believe that's been done. But Fantasy Soft is one of those rare occasions where at least from what we see of the evidence, that may be exactly what they were doing. And as I said, it's very disappointing that they had to go, especially when they're calling themselves a Christian company. There was a back in the early 2000s, there was a big movement that came out of Christianity, WWJD. What would Jesus do? So what I would ask the owner of Fantasy Soft to really think about, really be prayerfully meditating on, is what would Jesus do in this situation? Because he's the one we're supposed, as Christians, he's the one that you're supposed to be following the example of. You know, if you call yourself a Christian, the idea is that you're representing who Christ is. That's the general idea. Now, I'm not saying that as human beings we're perfect at it or we're going to ever be perfect at it. That's the whole point. That we are a flawed and sinful creature that does fall short of glory, and that we're only redeemed by by the grace of God, and we find our salvation through Jesus Christ, in service to Him. So, um, so basically, that's all I think I gotta say on it at this point because that's what we all know. And that's, as I said, it's a very disappointing situation in that. As I would advise the whoever's in charge there at Fantasy Soft Entertainment, if you call yourself a Christian, trying to put yourself out there as a Christian, I think you need to be very prayerfully meditating on what Jesus would do in this situation. And with that, it's time to move on um, to the next segment here, something a little more happier here. This day in Nietzsche history. So today is, in fact, April the 20th. So it's time to see what has it's time to see what happened on this date in history. So on this date in history, April 10th, on this date back in 1980, 40 years ago today, Batman number 325 came out on the newsstands from DC Comics, titled "Death 20 Stories High." The story Death 20 Stories High. Batman 325 came out on this date in 1980, 40 years ago today. And on this date in 2000, 20 years ago today, Vince Russo and Eric Bischoff took over WCW as the new co-creative team and relaunched WCW on WCW Monday Nitro. They declared all the championships vacant, but when Sid Vicious refused to give up the title, Bischoff threatened to fire him if he didn't give it up, and this also led to the storyline between the younger wrestlers in WCW, known as the New Blood, led by Russo and Bischoff as the as in this case as the heels, and then the Millionaires Club, the what they call the established or older WCW stars, led by Hulk Hogan, who ended up being the faces and feud, coming off, of course, of the NWO angle. Now, at this point, as everybody knows, WCW was about 11 months away from coming to an end, almost a full year away from coming to an end. It was basically on its, it was kind of on its downturn, and this is obviously one of the points that they point to. So, with that, with all that being said, if you want to contact me directly, you can DM me on my Discord. Just check the links below. My Discord's down there. You can check out the Discord and join it if you'd like. I'm also still promoting a bunch of different dub companies. There's a lot of work out there. You guys can get caught up on why we're in this state of lockdown. Also, as we kind of move ahead here, also, let me see. I've already hit the links, so oh yeah, the GoFundMe. I'm also still promoting the GoFundMes. As always, guys, never feel like you have to donate. If you have the means to, it's on your heart to do so, please consider donating. If you cannot, or if you've already donated, please consider donating again. And then if you cannot donate, then you can still help out the cause by sharing the link. Sharing is caring. You never know. Maybe somebody in your circle of friends may see it and want to help out. Doesn't hurt to ask. And if you like this content, please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. I always look forward to conversation with you guys as long as it's civil and respectful. We can always agree to disagree. And I hope you guys will enjoy this video. I hope you guys will catch this video. And I hope you get, and with today being Friday, just a reminder that, I also have my latest VA profile, Voices Big and Small. This week we're doing Angie Beers, the Calgary-based voice actress. You might want to come check out her credits and eventually check out her work. So with that, guys, hopefully I'll see you tonight at the premiere of Voices Big and Small, Angie Beers. If not, then I'll see you on Monday. Bye.